Greetings, Kansas City and abroad. I am Janae Relaford, the chair of the KC Reparations Coalition, and I'm here to share with you about our journey for the past 5 years. First, starting with what is reparations? Reparations has a simple definition, which is repair for a harm. Now, this is specifically repair for harm for chattel slavery and the legacy harms. So we went from chattel slavery to sharecropping to chain gangs to Jim Crow era, and now we're in a mass incarceration era. So the harms have not ended. For anybody who may be questioning, well, why are they fighting for reparations for enslavement that was hundreds of years ago? We have never been off from under the harms. The harms are still prevalent today. So my journey with KC Reparations Coalition started through my work with Sankofa for Kansas City. This is 5 years ago. The National Black United Front of Kansas City, Mickey Dean, who was one of the founders of that local organization, he put out a call to several black-led organizations to come and join a coalition to fight for local reparations. All of this was inspired by the work that was happening in Evanston, Illinois. So Sister Robin Ruth Simmons was alder there at the time, where now she has led that city to being the first city to pass tax-funded reparations. So we're on that same journey here in Kansas City. We started out with KC Reparations Coalition. I'll just share who makes up KC Reparations Coalition. So National Black United Front of Kansas City, Muhammad's Mosque 30, Sankofa for Kansas City, Urban Summit, and Urban League of Kansas City, and SCLC of Kansas City. All these organizations make up KC Reparations Coalition. So we started organizing in 2020, beginning with breaking ourselves up into subcommittee groups, focused on 5 injury areas, which are education, housing, health, public safety, business, and economics. And we connected with local councilwoman Melissa Robinson and shared with her about what we were trying to accomplish. And we started out with getting a resolution in support of HR 40 passed. HR 40 is the national reparations legislation. So we started out with that, and we got that passed unanimously through City Council. City Council agreed that HR 40 is good for the nation and good for Kansas City. So after that win, we started the work connecting with the mayor of Kansas City to talk about local reparations. And we learned that at the time he was a member of MORE, which stands for Mayors Organized for Racial Equity, which I don't think is currently active, but at the time that let us know where the mindset of our mayor was, and that it was good to approach him and share with him the work that we had already been doing, and that we were the group to help him accomplish his goals. And so that began the journey of developing when we broke up into those subcommittee groups, in the documents that we produced from those subcommittee groups of the 5 injury areas was, who in Kansas City did we feel were possibly responsible for the harms, and who in Kansas City did we feel could be good to help for the repair. So those documents became the basis for the ordinance that we have, Ordinance 220-966. Yes, which you can look that ordinance up, 220-966. And that is the ordinance that we are living under today to pass reparations. And so we were elated that in May of 2023, the work that we had been doing those 3 years prior led to having the Mayor's Commission on Reparations. And so I will share the floor now with my sister Terry Barnes to share all about, she's leading the Mayor's Commission on Reparations. So to talk about who they are, that whole process, and where we go from today.
Yeah, thank you, Janae. So my name is Terry Barnes, and I'm the chair of the Mayor's Commission on Reparations. And Janae just provided a backdrop of all the things that happened before the Mayor's Commission was seated in May of 2023. And I wanted to take just a minute to read a portion of the ordinance, because this is key to having the commission in place, and it speaks to the work that we've been asked to do. So if you bear with me just a minute, this is the ordinance that was put together of 220966. I'm not going to read the whole ordinance because it's 3 pages long, but I wanted to read just the beginning of it. Whereas the institution of chattel slavery in the United States, which lasted for over 250 years, enriched American industries, commercial and financial corporations, and transformed the newly established United States into an international economic power through the oppressive, dehumanizing, and torturous system of enslaved black labor. Whereas the city of Kansas City was founded in 1850, whereas the city of Kansas City Code of Ordinances characterized black persons as property upon its founding and the generation that followed, whereas the emancipation of previously enslaved black persons, the organs of local government, including the office of the mayor, city council, city departments, and the Kansas City Police Department, actively supported and executed laws restricting the humanity, movement, and rights of previously enslaved black people and their descendants. Whereas the city of Kansas City's past actions to support and defend the institution of slavery and segregation era human rights violations has led to substantial disparities in wealth, health, knowledge, homeownership, criminal justice, and economic outcomes or educational outcomes for black Kansas Cityans as compared to non-black Kansas Cityans. So that is the first 2 or 3 paragraphs of the ordinance. That really helped set the stage for the work. So a 13-member commission was named, and we were seated in May of 2023 to do the work of doing the research necessary to show how the city of Kansas City contributed to, in their policies and the way that they did business and the way that they did their normal day-to-day activities, how did they uphold, contribute to, or sustain these conditions for black people. Unfortunately, although everybody thought it was a good idea, we didn't receive any funding. So there was no funding to do the research for the work. So from May of 2023 until December of 2024, there was no funding. We did several town hall meetings to help get the word out in Kansas City and to begin to make connections with key members of our community that have expertise in those areas. So you think about folks like Ad Hoc Group Against Crime, Alvin Brooks, I can't think of some, Jim Nunley, just folks in our community that have deep knowledge of how our systems were built here in Kansas City. We began to connect, and when I say we, I mean the commission. Janae's group is very well connected with the national organization, which has really benefited us in significant ways, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But as a newer person to the movement, we were able, in that year and a half when we were not funded, we were able to get connected with local, regional, and national experts in the reparations movement. We went to reparations conferences and workshops, and we really just got ourselves more knowledgeable about what was a norm in these spaces, what are other people doing, what does this mean for other communities. So we were finally funded. We asked for $510,000 to do the work. We ended up with $350,000 to start the work. We put out an RFP back in December of 2024. We had interviews in the spring of 2025. We made a selection of a vendor to come in and do the work for us, to do the research necessary to look at the history of Kansas City, specifically the city of Kansas City, and to talk about how the city contributed to some of these harms. And unfortunately, we got a new president around the same time, and the funds to do the work for reparations was frozen because of the executive orders that came out of the administrator's office. There were concerns that anything related to reparations was being looked at as DEI, and what that would mean would we possibly jeopardize future funding to Kansas City. So there was obviously a big concern. But shout out to our city and our city's legal department. We were able to speak to some of the attorneys in the movement that had expertise in reparations work, and they gave us the green light to move forward. So although everything was frozen in June, we got the approval. Contracts were signed in July, and I'm really excited to tell you that we hired the Carter Development Group out of Florida. Dr. Adrian Carter is the CEO. He is leading a 12-member team to do the research work for Kansas City. Out of that 12-member team, 5 of those members are members from our community here in Kansas City. We also have a team of people from UMKC partnering with Dr. Carter to do this work. The research team was in Kansas City about a month ago. They spent 3 days on the ground in Kansas City, a full day at the city, as you might imagine, meeting all of the department heads. Shout out to Mayor Pro Tem Raina Park Shaw and City Manager. They came in and welcomed them, answered questions, talked about how their departments worked, and really they were very welcoming to the work that we really will need them to do as we move forward. We also had them do a bus tour with Eric Stafford so that they could physically see the Truce dividing line. They could see 18th and Vine. They could see General Hospital number 1 and number 2. They could get a sense of the things that they had already begun to turn over in their research. We had an opportunity to meet with Ollie Gates, and he told the story of him serving on the Parks Board and different things that happened when he was in charge. He remembered some of the racism that happened even back then. We met with Alvin Brooks, we met with Sly James, so they really began to get a sense of the culture of Kansas City. So for the past 2 or 3 weeks, they've just been reworking their timeline. And going forward, the 4th Tuesday of every month, we have a public meeting. It's on Zoom. The public is welcome to attend, and we will have a representative from the Carter Development Group on those phone calls, providing an update every month with how they're doing. They have 12 months to complete their research and to complete their first report, and then we have 6 months to finalize the report. So we anticipate that there will be legal questions. We'll have to go back and massage things, and we have 6 months after that initial report is created to do the final report, which will be submitted to the City Council. Some of the challenging part about all of that, though, is the City Council that we submit that to will not be the City Council that said, yes, we want reparations to move forward. So it's really important to us that as we elect new officials, that we include a question in our communities and as part of our vetting processes, do they support reparations for Black Kansas City? Because we can put all the work together, but it will land on the desk of whoever the mayor is at that time and whoever the city council members are at that time to decide whether or not this work moves forward. Let me think if is there anything else? Oh, one other thing that I wanted to share that I don't think people realize, there's a lot of people who say, oh, reparations, it'll never happen. I don't know why you're wasting your time on reparations. In 1988, Ronald Reagan approved reparations for Japanese Americans. Japanese Americans that were interned back in the, I want to say the 40s, they each received $20,000 in 1988. That was reparations. And John Conyers, who we consider the father of reparations in current day, he took that exact law and copied it as closely as he could to create H.R. 40 for Black Americans, because he figured, well, if this passed for Japanese Americans, I can get this to pass for Black Americans. That bill has been coming forward for the past 36 years. Mm-hmm. So it's been done, it's been approved, it just hasn't been approved for our people. Mm-hmm. And so we feel like we're carrying that torch forward. We think now is the time. And the other thing that I want to say before closing is that the work that we're doing locally, the work that the coalition and the commission are doing locally is important work, but the real important work is to get federal legislation, because we know that there's nothing that this city can do to take care of the amends to happen to black people in Kansas City. We need federal legislation and an approval so that all of our people across the country can benefit for what they are owed.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sister Terry, and I'll piggyback off of what she was sharing about the Japanese receiving reparations, but before that, enslavers received reparations from the United States of America. So we're past due for African Americans to receive reparations. What's due to them. And I want to share about our public meetings as well, because along with those commission meetings that are the fourth Tuesday of every month, the KC Reparations Coalition meets the last Monday of every month virtually. And we have our meeting coming up this Monday, September the 29th, 6 p.m. All our meetings are virtual. You can access the link via our Facebook page, our Facebook group page. So like KC Reparations Coalition on Facebook, access our meeting links from there. And we just really want to impress upon the public that we cannot pass reparations legislation without your engagement. Because yes, it is up to the city council. Their votes pass, that legislation when those recommendations come out. But who's going to put the pressure on those legislators to make sure they do pass that kind of legislation? And as Sister Terry was saying, if we do the front work and make sure that those individuals that we put in position to represent us, to make sure that they are already advocates of reparations, so we don't have to have those questions down the line. And before I close out, I wanted to share a poem that I wrote on reparations. I don't quite know it by heart yet, so let me cue it up. It's a reparations affirmation. Reparations now, reparations now. Let the truth be told, reparations is owed. Reparations to the descendants of the enslaved for the wealth they made. Don't get it twisted. After 400 years, we won't be blacklisted. Reparations now if you want America to abound. We won't stop until HR 40 is on top. All it takes is the president's pen to sign HR 40 for the executive win. Mr. Trump, won't you be so bold and transfer the wealth that America stole? Reparations now to the blacks beaten down by the American trade that created the enslaved. The damage is real and the debt is owed. Don't dare tell us the claim is owed. Debt accrues interest according to the American way, and for your crimes against humanity, justice is still relevant today. Reparations now, we scream and we shout. If you want us to be quiet, stop leaving us out. The time is now. Reparations is right. We won't back down. We'll fight, fight, fight. America won't be great or even good until it pays reparations as it should.
That is so good. What's that's supposed to do that? It's supposed to do that.
Oh, okay.
That was great. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
I was going to say in closing, hold on just a quick second. It left me, but it's coming back in just a minute. Oh, if you are part of a group or an organization and you want to learn more about reparations, both the coalition, members of the commission, we are willing to come out to your neighborhood groups, to your association groups, because it really is important that people understand what it is that we're doing, gain support, so when whoever is seated behind those desks, we have the power of the people being very clear about what it is that they want for Kansas City. So thank you all very much.
Absolutely.